Welcome to another episode of Jay Leno's Garage. We're going to talk about power to weight ratio. Cars are getting more and more powerful, 600 horse, 700 horsepower cars. But a lot of these cars, like the Mercedes, are 4,300 pounds. Even the Bugatti Veyron is over 2 tons. To me, I like a light car with a powerful engine, but not so powerful that it overpowers the whole car. The McLaren F1, of course, what's this, 2,400 pounds, 627 horse. The Gordon Murray Rocket, 775 pounds, 147 horsepower. You've got the Ariel Atom over here, 300 horsepower, weighs about 1,300 pounds. And, of course, the grandfather of all of them, the king of power to weight, the Lotus Elans. They weigh about 1,580 pounds. The blue one has 160 horse. And that one's going to be real fast. We'll talk about it later. Well, there's a new entry into the power to weight ratio. This right here, this is called the Deronda. Fascinating car, built in Detroit. Originally, the car was designed by an English gentleman. And if you go on the web, you see the early ones use an Audi TT engine. But we Americans, we want a little more horsepower than that. So an American company, my friend Chris Trapp, he's a guy, he builds race cars, does a lot of racing. He designed it to take this motor here, the LS2, the Corvette, or the LS7 if you want. What you have here is a Corvette engine, 400 horsepower, or you could opt for the Z06 motor if you want, which is 505, mated to a Porsche transaxle. It's a Porsche G50 5-speed transmission. You've got dual sidebar protection, aerodynamic control arms. So basically what you have here is a Corvette without all that extra stuff, fenders and navigation. The car weighs about 18 and change, 1,900 pounds, something like that. It's about a 60-40 ratio front to back. It's not too bad. Incredibly fast. A lot of fun, and unlike the Atom, you've got a windshield. So look at all those creature comforts, an actual glass windshield. This seems to be the way people are going now. You either go nanny state, full-out airbags, roll bars, anti-lock brake, or you go the other direction like this, where you have none of that, just raw power, putting it to the ground. Although you do have the traction control of the Corvette. All your electrics are right under here. Your electronics are right here behind this seat. They use a General Motors fly-by-wire. There's no actual cable connecting you to the power system. It's all done electronically. I kind of like a cable. I'm the old guy, cable going to a carburetor, but those days are gone forever. You've got Corvette uprights, a lot of GM in here, a lot of Corvette stuff. You've got an integrated onboard fire suppression system right under the ignition key. You've got race logic, traction control with a launch setting right here. Personally, I like to just turn that off and do burnouts, but that's me. Got 18-inch wheels front and back. You got bare calipers, 13-inch front, 12-inch rear rotors. There's your brake bias on the floor. See the blue knob? So you adjust your braking front to back. Got coated exhaust with dual stainless steel mufflers. You've got, of course, catalytic converters, which all cars have to have now. TIG welded chrome moly chassis, composite body panels, a combination of fiberglass and carbon fiber. You got a SPA digital integrated dashboard. And, of course, you got a DOT windshield with wipers and, all the stuff you need to make it street legal. Now, don't make the mistake of thinking this is like some kind of kit car. Not that there's anything wrong with kit cars, but the word kit, well, you know what I mean. Sometimes people cut corners. This is a race car built by guys who race and build race cars. I mean, look at the level of the welds. Look at the construction. Look at the fit and finish. I guess you would call it a composite car at best. You're using the best elements of what's out there. The Porsche transmission, the Corvette engine, which of course is bulletproof. Your wiper goes here, you got your washer here. Kind of got that Ferrari shark nose front end, which looks pretty cool. It's funny now how cars get more and more safety equipment and heavier and bulkier. You got guys who just want to go the other way. They just like the raw element of power to weight. This is basically almost like a super bike for a guy that doesn't like motorcycles. You've got the power and handling and the wind of your face of a high-speed Hayabusa or a Kawasaki, but obviously with the safety of 4 wheels. I always liked these, going back to the Hemi Cudas and stuff, and the GT350 Mustang. There's nothing like hood pins. I just like those, kind of old school. As you can see, I think these guys must have been in the taillight manufacturing business. Got a lot of taillights back here. You either like that or you don't. I think it looks all right, but the nice thing is people can see you. I think we're about ready to take it for a ride. It's a little chilly today. I'm going to get my jacket. Let's do our starting sequence. There's no key per se. You put this in and that's your battery disconnect switch. You have one of these immobilizer deals. You press that. Okay, see the green light comes on. You've got your fuel pump, transmission pump. You've got headlights, high, low beam, start button, windshield washers, flashers. You got your turn signals here, left and right, and your horn. Pretty simple. Your race logic right here. Let's set that to 25. Turn off the traction control. Let's go. You think, oh, that's it, hot rodding's over, cars are too controlled, you can't modify cars anymore. Guys come along with something like this. This is probably the most versatile engine in American history. It's used in every application, and this is another great one. And of course, being a Corvette engine, there's limitless power upgrades you can do to it. Make no mistake, this thing's got a lot of power. Although this is the LS2 and this is the 400 horsepower version, you can't get the Z06 505 horsepower version. But boy, this is pretty quick. Well, I'm not going to say how fast it goes. Gotta say I'm not a big fan of these racing bucket seats. For those that are what we call buttock challenged, it's a little tight. So many component cars, it all comes down to build quality. The components in this car, the transmission, the engine, the GM Corvette parts, these are all proven parts that are pretty much bulletproof. It's how you put it together. And Chris and the guys have done a terrific job. Race cars are really the proving ground. And when you build race cars for a living, as these guys do, when you make a street car, it's going to have that extra margin of safety, that extra margin of strength, and the extra power. The nice thing is they build a car to fit you, you know. The pedals move back and forward. Everything's infinitely adjustable. It's amazing what a weight loss of 1,000 or 1,500 pounds can do. It's incredible torque. I mean, it's really effortless. You just touch the gas in any gear. Boom! You've got essentially Corvette brakes with only 1,800 pounds to stop instead of 3,300 pounds, so the brakes are incredible. You don't really need carbon fiber or any of that. It's so lightweight. Speed is very deceptive in this car. You know, you've got so much power and so much torque. You know, you've got to keep your eye on this speedometer all the time. But aerodynamic-wise, it's not a lot of buffeting in here. It's comfortable. It's smooth. You know, this is where hot rod is going. When I was a kid, it was 32 Fords and 283 Chevys and, you know, 391 Hemis and all that nonsense. This is the new kind of hot rodding. It's handling, it's power, it's brakes, it's the whole package. When I was a kid, you had power, but nothing else. Cars didn't handle, it didn't stop. This is the way to go. It's almost like a Formula One car for the street. Pretty fascinating automobile. Hey, if you're one of those guys and your wife won't let you get a motorcycle, this would be perfect. But honey, it's safe, it's a car. It's got a Chevrolet engine. And you'll get better gas mileage because it's lighter. Honey, there's all kinds of practical reasons why we need this. Although it is starting to rain a little bit here in California today, so probably not the most practical car in the range. You know, it's funny, you realize with something like this, you can blow the doors off Lamborghinis, Porsche, GT2s, just about anything out there. Power to weight, that's the key.